Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for another edition of Dialogue with the Dean. I'm Eric Barker, Dean of the Purdue University College of Pharmacy. It's a pleasure to be with you and to share some things with you about what the college is doing in the country of Colombia. Just a couple of comments. One, normally we do these Dialogue with Deans through the Facebook Live mechanism. Well, it turns out today Facebook is having some technical difficulties, and so we are going to go ahead and record our conversation and then we'll post it onto the Facebook site. So normally we would take live questions. We won't be able to do that today, but if you do want to post some comments or post questions, we'll check back and someone will post an answer to your questions. And so, as I said at the outset, today we are talking about the initiative that we have in the nation of Colombia, and it is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Ellen Shellhouse, who is a clinical associate professor of pharmacy practice here in the college. She's also the coordinator for the Purdue Kenya partnership, and she's been providing some leadership not only for the Kenya program, but for other global health programs. And so, Ellen, thank you for being with us on Dialogue with the Dean, and it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you.
So, tell me and tell our audience a little bit about what you have been doing for the college as it relates to global health.
Sure. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Pharmacy Practice, and my main area of focus is on international engagement and global initiatives. I serve as the college's international programs officer here for Purdue University, and I've been working also on advancing engagement opportunities in Colombia and London. And with that, I help lead the pre-departure training for all students that take on rotations and experiences in our international initiatives.
So, maybe just real quickly for folks who may be unfamiliar, in the fourth year of the PharmD program, they are all on what we call advanced pharmacy practice experiences. We call those APPEs. And most folks would just think about those being, clerkships or preceptor sites. You said pre-departure, so tell me a little bit about what we do with our students before they head to, like, Kenya, for example.
Sure. The students that participate in rotations or advanced pharmacy practice experiences in any of the international sites, so Colombia, London, or Kenya, take a 2-credit elective the spring before, so during their P3 year. And this focuses on pharmaceutical care in the environment that they're going to, as well as intercultural learning and travel preparation.
So today we did want to focus more on Colombia. Tell us a little bit about how long this collaboration with Colombia has been in place.
Our college's first visit was actually our visit 3 years ago for Purdue spring break, so 2016 was the college's first official visit to Colombia, where we visited with 4 universities. There were 7 colleges of pharmacy at the time. There are now 9, so we visited with faculty and leadership in 4 of those colleges. The students started their advanced pharmacy practice experiences in May of 2018 at the University of Antioquia in Medellin. And the colleges had formal and informal research collaborations for many years.
How many students have we sent to Colombia for advanced practice experiences so far?
We've had 2 groups of students, 6 students total, since May of 2018, complete a 4-week experience at the University of Antioquia. And we have 4 more students set to complete their rotation in 2019.
Great. For the listeners, again, how would you compare the Colombia partnership with what we've been doing in Kenya?
The Purdue-Kenya partnership is broader in scope. It is an engagement collaboration, a clinical practice site, and an education and training program. And right now in Colombia, we are paving that path to engagement, but we're starting with establishing relationships and trying to learn the needs of pharmacy in Colombia. We've been working with the deans from the 9 schools of pharmacy there to really understand the future of pharmacy in Colombia, trying to develop partnerships and listening to the local needs to establish that. We've also worked with leadership from professional organizations to see where pharmacy is going and how Purdue might be able to collaborate and engage with pharmacy practice in Colombia.
So, from your perspective, how do our students benefit from their experience in Colombia? What do they get from that?
Great question. The students that are completing their 4-week experience there have the opportunity to see a different healthcare system. They also have the opportunity to strengthen their clinical skills, primarily in an internal medicine environment, but they also have exposure to pharmacy, academic pharmacy, as well as ambulatory care for their clinical skills practice. They also work on an individualized intercultural learning plan, learning to work across similarities and differences that can translate into different pharmacy practice settings. And for students that are interested, it's also an opportunity to practice their Spanish language skills as well as medical Spanish.
Maybe you've got a few questions for me as it relates to Colombia or other initiatives.
Yeah. Can you share why engagement and collaboration in Colombia as opposed to other countries?
You know, that's a question that we'll oftentimes get when folks hear that we're sending students to Colombia. They'll ask the question, why Colombia? And it really goes to the reality that Purdue established and has established a very deep relationship in Colombia that started several years ago with the College of Engineering. And in fact, for many years, the College of Engineering had an office that was specifically dedicated to the Colombia partnership. That office has now moved more central, and it serves the whole university, but many colleges on our campus, College of Agriculture, Purdue Polytechnic Institute, through the aviation program, have all developed relationships with Colombia. And there was a decision by the university that we were going to do a deep investment in the nation of Colombia. There was a partnership there. It turns out, interestingly enough, there are a lot of Purdue alums in Colombia. And so there was a real opportunity to do something deep and meaningful in Colombia. And it seemed very natural to us that we ought to take a look, because we know that, one, our students look for other global opportunities, and two, they do, as you just said, want opportunities where they can practice their Spanish speaking skills. So many of these students have had at least 4 years of high school Spanish. Many have 2, 3, and 4 years in some cases, and in fact even sometimes a Spanish minor when they're here at Purdue. And so they look forward to the opportunity to be in a different culture and practice a language that they know. So I think those were two reasons, but we also saw an opportunity to have a deep influence on the practice of pharmacy in a country where the practice of pharmacy is evolving very rapidly, and we could really have a role to be a partner in what they're trying to do there.
Do you envision the college collaborating or building partnerships in other countries?
I think the college will always think very strategically about opportunities to work with other countries, and really the question is, what is the benefit to us and what is the benefit to that home institution? And so Purdue, the College of Pharmacy particularly, has taken a stance that we have sort of two options when we look at these global partnerships. One, we could have a lot of different ones and they may not be very deep, or we could have a select few where we go deeper. And that was really the option that we've historically chosen. We know the Purdue-Kenya partnership is one where there's a very, very deep relationship there. We're trying to build out the London opportunity as well, so there's a European influence. We have a relationship, a signed agreement with Shenyang Pharmaceutical University in China. That is an opportunity that we continue to build out. Shenyang has been sending students here every year, and so there is an opportunity to go deeper there in a bidirectional way. And then as we think about Colombia, there's an opportunity again to go deeper than just sending pharmacy students there on rotations, but to engage the professional associations, the 7 colleges of pharmacy in the country, about how a partnership with Purdue and maybe ultimately other universities and other colleges of pharmacy where we could have an influence on the practice of pharmacy, and at the same time give our students and give some of their students and their faculty the opportunity to come and visit us here in Indiana and learn from what we do. And so I think we will look strategically at opportunities and think about what is the goal and what is the opportunity for us to have an impact on the lives and education and preparation of our students as they think about being leaders in pharmacy and the pharmaceutical sciences, and then what are the needs of those home countries as well, and how can we be great partners when we do that. And I think those are going to be the driving factors as we look at other global health initiatives.
Great.
Well, thank you for being with us today. Again, thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. If you have questions or comments, please go ahead and post those on the Facebook site, and we'll be sure to comment on those. So again, thank you. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, hail Purdue and boiler up.